record, and then we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, 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 and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji, with me is Robbie. How you doing, boy?
Welcome. So I really went for that one.
Yeah. Try to swallow your mic a little bit.
Yeah, I really went into it.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
It's all right. It feels a little weird that I've not heard your voice on the pod since, like, Inside Tracks, which is pre-season. Like, that seems unnatural.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. Like, we're over halfway through the season.
I know. But I needed a knight in shining armor because Ryan decided to have food poisoning for some reason.
Oh, poor bloke.
Yeah. I'm still convinced he had other things to do and he just wanted to get out of the pod. But I hope you feel better, Ryan.
Fair.
He doesn't even know what he had or took. It's just yeah, strange one.
Oh, well, hope he gets better soon. Although, maybe a comeuppance for beating me in the weekend. But anyway,
how was Christmas, buddy? I feel like I should ask you everything. You know, how's Christmas?
Yeah.
How's New Year's? Like,
yeah, no, it's good, man. We actually hosted this year, so we had my parents and Haley's side of the family around. So yeah, it was very busy, but the girls loved it because they could just play with all their toys and all that stuff all day. So yeah, all good. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
And like New Year's got a bit messy, really. So it was. We just had a few friends around, but like it was like played every variation of beer pong going, and like the kids stayed over at Haley's mum's. So we were just like, I don't know, like was it two of my mates, they left about 1, and then like my other mate who stayed over and his wife, they like we were up till about 4 a.m. or something in the end. It's like, and we were the only 2 that had kids, right? Fucking degenerates. like sort of woke up about like 11 o'clock the next day, like, fuck, is this what it was like before kids?
Yeah, because I remember you messaged the Discord. You're like, yo, guys, beer pong tonight. Yeah. I'm going to send some pictures. There was a before. There was never an after.
There was no pictures. Like, I just obviously having too much fun. How about you, mate? How was India, obviously?
India? You mean your country? Yeah, it was good. That's
exactly,
right.
Mate.
It's hot.
Clearly more.
Hot as balls.
Yeah. I bet it was freezing coming back, eh?
Oh my god, I hate it here, man. I'm like, now I want to go to India like every year if possible.
Yeah, man.
I spent no money and just enjoyed myself. Like it was great. Like
different lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I was so scared about like coming back fatter than usual, but I ended up losing weight because I ate zero processed food while I was away. So
yeah, that's true. It's harder to eat like too much of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if I've got my mom's cooking, like, why would I say no? So
too right.
It wasn't too bad. Pretty good vacation, I'd say. I still managed to churn out a lot of fucking content.
Yeah, you were busy, man. Did you just have like periods in the day where you're like, do I do family shit or do I...
Basically. Like I mean, because like now like I tell my family I actually, make a small living from this with the TDS stuff. So now I think they've got a bit more respect for my shenanigans.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, he's got work. Yeah. You go do what you need to do.
Yeah. Like you sell it any way you can, huh?
Yeah, exactly. All right, listeners, welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. So for those who are new to us, we are a default fan tracks pod. So you've just found our regular free pod where we basically do game week review of the game that we play. We have a second pod where we do waiver picks. That is on our Patreon, where you can find it or access it for the low price of at least $1 a month. I say at least because you're more than welcome to donate more if you want, or unless we want to jack up prices next season. So we'll see what we're gonna do about that. But yeah, in terms of the regular free pod, so typically how these roll out is we have two halves. In the first half, we do a data dump. we discuss the default scoring categories of the game, and then we do a league update section where we kind of catch up on our league, see how we're doing, moves that we're thinking of making, errors that we, probably shouldn't have made, a bit of reflection here and there. And then we take our halftime pint, and then after that, we jump back in to answer questions from our Discord. Because I don't think anyone asks questions on X or Twitter or any of that bullshit anymore. So, other than that, I'll get Ross to quickly do the social plugs. So, Ross, please do that right here.
Yeah, for sure. So you can message us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handles at BantaB. On Discord in the Draft PL channel, Banta Boys #6585. On Reddit, /Banta_Boys. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all under the name of Banta Boys.
Okay, so hopefully you've listened to Ross. If you're listening to us on Spotify, if you don't mind going to our main page, give us a 5-star rating. We're at 88. Still trying to get to that 100 mark before the season's over. It would be fantastic. So if you're listening to this and you've not rated us, come on, man. Just go do it. It's for free. Takes a couple of seconds. That's it. Go onto the main page. If you can't find it, DM me. I'll help you out. Don't worry. If you're listening to us on YouTube, if you don't mind hitting the follow button, the subscribe button, the thumbs up on the video that you're actually watching or listening to right now, it would help us out massively. Yeah, just to kind of grow the brand, work that algorithm magic, all that sort of jazz. Cool. That's all the boring shit. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we jump into the pod?
No. Give him that 5 stars. I've done it myself, so
Yay!
do it.
Thank you, Robbie.
It's very easy.
Thank you. Exactly. All right, let's jump straight into it.
Ay, 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 ay. Fantasy with the Banta Boys.
All right, so we're going to start with the data dump. Game week 23. So we're going to start with key passes as always. The highest number of key passes in 23 was 5 by Elanga and Eze, and then 4 key passes by Damsgaard, Bobby de Cordova-Reed, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Jacob Murphy. Thoughts, Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably pretty ill prepared for this part of the pod, considering I've not actually watched any of the football. But there goes the life of a parent. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess some of the Langa's been doing things lately, right? I imagine you've probably watched more of Forest than I have. But I mean, do you see that continuing? Is it sustainable?
I think it's very much a purple patch,
Yeah.
Because historically he's always been a terrible ghost point player. But I mean, once he got the first few in, you're like, okay, maybe it's fluke. But then he was doing 4 or 5 of them consistently. It got a little ridiculous at one point. But what's baffling to me really is the fact that we're seeing 2 Nottingham Forest players here, but they ended up losing 5-0. Where the hell are the Bournemouth players?
Well, dango, mate. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think. Well, I guess maybe they're just a team though, where lots of action happens, and this is it. I mean, they're a really interesting team, Bournemouth, in terms of the way they play. It's the sort of the antithesis to all the sort of possession-based football that a lot of clubs are playing now in the Premier League. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's just fun to see Forest battered, after mugging off everyone for pretty much the whole season.
And that's the thing, right? At some point, they had to kind of slip up. But I mean, you being a Liverpool fan, this is perfectly timed appearance on the pod. Is you guys are going to be facing Bournemouth. Yes, it's the team that is continuing to win. But do you think maybe there's now a bit of overconfidence going into this fixture against you guys?
Oh, well, for Bournemouth? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think Iraola is sort of built like that, to be honest. But
yeah,
maybe
fair.
The players are. I don't know. But I mean, we've always seemed to do well against them, despite them being in good patches. So yeah, and Slot's quite an adaptable manager. So I think he's gonna have something up his sleeve, and hopefully doesn't get mugged off like the rest of the teams have lately.
Yeah, and I guess it didn't also help Forest the fact that typically I feel like they have been one of the teams that kind of get the first goal in a lot of their matches.
Mm.
And now after they conceded the first, they couldn't do their usual game where they just like sit back, absorb
Yeah.
the pressure, hit on the counter. They were missing Callum Hudson-Odoi because of the groin strain or whatever. Jota Silva came in for this game, so yeah, it was a weird result for sure. I do want to touch on the legend that is Jacob Murphy, man.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, Almiron's gone now, isn't he? And I guess Barnes is
Yeah.
close to injury, coming back from injury, but it's just he's not happening, is he? So yeah, he's the one. Like I can't, unless they sign something surprising, I can't see that he
Yeah.
doesn't keep that spot to the end of the season. And I mean, he's benefited obviously from Isaac just sticking loads of shit away, isn't he? But
Oh my god,
just
yeah.
everything's sticking on him at the moment. So yeah, he's a great. I mean, that's the thing. There's a few players like in the last like maybe month or so where if you just pick them up at that start of their little patch of playing, like Dango's one, Murphy's another, like you just got like a top 2-3 round player sort of thing out of nothing. Right? So
Yeah.
these are what your seasons have made from.
Yeah, I would even throw Damsgaard in there as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
No one
yeah.
really started the season having
Yeah.
drafted him.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a couple of Brentford fans here and there, but yeah, he like you had to move quick, and if you did, man, you've got like a solid mid 2 at the moment. I want to say potentially just the way how often he's returning. Eze, we know he's always class. He always tends to show up on this list every now and then.
Yeah.
But BDCR, man, Bobby. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were looking for an asset to kind of punt on in this fixture, right? And I shouted Jordan Ayew in the Discord. I think other people might have gone, like, obviously Richarlison, if he was free, you go there, it's against Leicester. But Bobby was never on my bingo card.
No, I mean, yeah, none of them were on my bingo card, to be honest. And I was against Ayew and like only just won the matchup. I'll come to that later, but my opponent was like, I nearly went with Bobby over Ayew, and that would have won it. It's just like these margins of like stupid streamers. But I guess the only conclusion you can make from that is start everyone against Spurs that you can.
Yeah, boy. It's amazing how Ange still has his job.
Yeah, I mean, like I get it, but the injury crisis they've had is like, you got to be fair, it's pretty insane. Like, I mean, they signed what's his name, Archie Gray, for like, to be as a sort of a youth like backup central mid, maybe play right back if they're struggling, not as like playing centre back. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? So like I say, start everyone against Spurs.
All right, let's look at shots and how many were on target. So the highest number of shots in Gaming 23 was 5 by a few players here. Ilanga had 1 of his 5 on target, Eze with 1 of his 5 on target, Pedro Porro with 2 of his 5 on target, and then 4 shots attempted by Isak with all of them on target. Ouattara also had all of his 4 shots on target, Cunha with 2 of his 4 on target, Semenyo with 3 of his 4 on target, and Soboslai with 2 of his 4 on target. Thoughts, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm just loving Dango at the moment. I've got him in a couple of leagues, and he just saved me basically. But I mean,
that's what a hat trick does for you, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then even Semenyo getting up there, but like all of those, like even Szoboszlai is like really coming into his own at the moment. Now he's returned from injury, so. Yeah, and Isaac just carries on. So, yeah, all of those boys on the 4-shot side of things have really, like Cunha, I mean, he's got a tough set of fixtures at the moment. And obviously, they were playing Arsenal, weren't they?
Yeah, they were playing Arsenal.
Yeah.
Lost
But obviously, they had Mark Skelly sent off. But so I think just 4 out of 4 shots on target. It's just like nuts, isn't it? So obviously the ones with 5 are a bit more profligate. Ilanga and Eze and Porro. But just nice that there's volume there and accuracy in terms of the shots for those guys. They're all like all of those guys will be sitting in like the top 20, 30 assets at the moment. So most of them are bumped up quite a bit in my ranks. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we move on from this, I do want to talk about Sobo a bit, man.
Mhm.
It feels like he's been popping up in the shots department
Yeah.
for the last few games now. Like, is there a slight tactical thing that Slaughter's done, or has it purely just been he's fit again?
I mean, I think you saw early in the season there was always the work rate there, and he was sort
Yeah.
of getting into quite good positions, but I think he was more inclined to like just pass the ball to Salah or like be that provider. Whereas now he's like he's sort of, I think because he's fitter, he's almost like getting to those points. He's done all this hard work off the ball, this sort of stuff. But once he does get into the good positions, he's like not as knackered, right? And he's like actually he's like, okay, I could pass, but this shot is like a better option, and he's going for it. And so you're seeing the fruits of that, I guess, the last few games. Because I mean, like you think back a few months, like a lot of people might have even dropped him in leagues. He was that bad. So yeah, I've managed to sort of just hold on the whole time, and in a couple of leagues, and it's come good. So yeah, really pleased. And pleased for Liverpool as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you, like, you confident you boys will bring the title home this season?
I mean, it's about as good as it's going to look, isn't it? Like, you couldn't have hoped for any better, really. So, I mean, we'll see how the Bournemouth game and then the game in hand against Everton goes. Because obviously Arsenal are playing City as well, who seem to be... I don't think they're necessarily back, but they're certainly better than they were playing a few weeks ago. So, so we'll see how that pans out. If we can get a couple of wins and Arsenal drop points, then I think be laughing then.
Yeah. All right. Next category is accurate crosses into the box. So highest number last game week was 4 by a couple of players, Pedro Porro and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Porro one, he's obviously been struggling lately, like in real life and in fantasy. But I mean, if you play Leicester, I think that's a nice way to get back into some points, which you saw obviously from the having a couple of shots on target, five shots as well. So he's obviously well involved. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I've got Wan-Bissaka in a couple of leagues, and it's just been great. Like, I think. I mean, hopefully, like, he can continue doing what he does, what he was doing with Lopetegui under Potter, and obviously, like, that seems like a good barometer last week, especially if they're, playing the system with the wing backs.
I watched that game quite a bit. I mean, I was pretty much bedridden all week because of sickness and shit, so I got to watch a lot of football.
Nice.
The benefits of being ill, but Wanby looked good on that right-sided wing. Basically, it felt like it was almost like a wing back sort of vibe. So he was putting in some tasty crosses, man. Was very close to getting an assist for an Ings goal, actually. But
but I mean, with Potter, he's like, will he stick with that? Probably not.
That's the other thing. All right, finally we go into the extra categories. So tackles won, the highest number was 5 by Agbadu, a new boy at Wolves, and Munoz from Crystal Palace. Dispossessions, there was a high of 5 by Onuachu and Mo Salah. Interceptions, there was a high of 6 by Calvin Phillips and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Clearances, there was a high of 13 by both Everton centre-backs, Branthwaite and Tarkowski. Successful dribbles, there was a high of 6 by Mo Kudus. Aerials, there was a high of 8 by Onuachu. And block shots, there was like 12 people that got 2 block shots each. I'm not going through the fucking list. Thoughts?
It's funny seeing Onuachu there twice. Like, I didn't realise he'd have the ball at his feet enough to like get dispossessed 5 times. But obviously the aerials stand out because that's where that's his bread and butter, isn't it? And especially, I mean, with Dibbling out injured now, he's should be relatively safe for starts.
I grabbed him in a league just because like he's playing Ipswich, right? So
I got him as well. But yeah, like obviously the Everton shutout at Brighton, where they're going to be super busy. I mean, you saw Branthwaite actually like ghost better than Tarks, which was quite interesting to see. But and Kudus actually back to doing something, but only really dribbles. So yeah, I'm still not sure about him just yet. Maybe hopefully Bowen helps that in that regard, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the verge of our first double game week of the season. Both Everton and Liverpool doubling this game week. So, like, speaking of Branthwaite, I think maybe managers were becoming a little fed up of him over the past few game weeks. Like, the fact that, he's not ghosting at all, this and that. But you're still rolling him out in the double game week, right? Surely.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been a lot of people saying, Brantford's a trap and all that. I think it depends on your situation in your squad and that, but I wouldn't be adverse to like rolling him out now, just purely because, especially under Moyes, they're gonna, it's not that far away from Dycheball, right? They're gonna try and be solid. Maybe they'll have a bit more competence going forward. I don't know, but and the first game's against Leicester. Like, okay, Leicester can score, but they're not gonna. I wouldn't imagine they're gonna go wild against Everton. So yeah, I think it's, for me, unless you have like some crazy stacked defense and you have better streaming options, like I think in one league I'll roll them out, but yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah,
but it's situation dependent, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm assuming as well, the game treats both fixtures as separate, right? Because with the new goal against defenders rule, right, where it only starts counting after 2.
Yeah,
you have to concede 2 and then concede 2 again, sort of thing, right? In case anyone was freaking out about that.
Yeah, but you'll see in the settings that there's an option to do it per game week or per game. So it's on per game. So,
okay, yeah. Make sure you guys have that ticked. Or talk to your commissioner. So, could you imagine how fucked that would be? Like if you concede 1 in the first one and then concede 5 in the other or some shit like.
This is it. Yeah. But I mean, hopefully he does concede a lot in the second game, but we'll see.
But other than that, I think maybe one other thing is, did you see this 18.25 ghost game from Agbadu against Arsenal?
Yes. Yeah.
It's an aberration, we think.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, what have you been doing since then?
I don't think anything.
No, not really. God,
I think you got like 0.25 in one of the games before that, and then like a negative score before that or something.
So I mean, even with that 18-point game week, he's got like 5.8 points for start. So I'm really
excellent.
Too much.
Yes, love a trap.
Yeah.
All right. Now I think what we'll do is move on to our next segment, which is the league updates. All right, Robbie, talk to me, bro. How was game week 23?
Yeah, man. Mixed. What did I? So won my home league, won IGL, lost in lifestyle league, obviously. Again,
obviously,
lost in DPL.
that's your lifestyle in that league, actually, to lose. Like,
I don't know where I'm. I do know where I went wrong with that as the draft, but but normally I can recover these things, but it just hasn't really happened. But anyway, shit happens, doesn't it? At least I'm doing well in my other leagues. But so won IGL in my home league and lost the others, but lost in Bash as well to Mr. Espresso, who was actually the lowest scoring player the week before. So there you go. There's that. There's that league for you. But yeah, no, it was a good week because I mean in DPL I could afford to lose because I think I'm still top by 3 wins and that. So so I was playing Ryan, who had a few jammy little things go for him, but I think who did he have? He had Shobber's Light. Oh yeah, like so I had Shobber's Light in 2 leagues and I was playing him in the other 2 leagues, but anyway. So he had a few come in, like Mikolenko 16 points and Saliba 11 points and Damsgaard 19, Nunez 18. So anyway, he just sort of squeezed over the line really, and the only person who did anything for me was Dango. And the late Liverpool, I had Alisson and Trent, so the late Ipswich consolation was a bit galling really, but what are you gonna do? But I was only like 15 points behind him or something, so a bit of an annoying one, but anyway, is what it is. But so in IGL I managed to get the win in that, so against Raw Sparkley. God, love that name. Good old Ross. But yeah, so yeah, Damsgaard, and so that was 110 to 105, really close one. So yeah, like I said, he started IU against instead of Bobby. So yeah, that got me over the line in the end. I honestly did not think I was going to win that game because he had like Cliver, Gakpo, and Tonali like first lot of games, and you're like, fucking hell, like what?
You know when Tonali's scoring, you're really questioning your luck that game.
Yeah, like I was like, fuck's sake. But then the luck goes back the same way. He had Bruno get 5 points, and you're like, okay, well, great.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so yeah, Trent there, Flecken, Dams, Tarks, like Szoboszlai. Those are the main ones really that did anything. But yeah. And Iwobi with 9 got me over the line. So yeah, no, it was a nice one because that's like kept me like it's really tight at the top of that table. There's like Gavin's on the same wins as me, but he's got a draw, so I'm just behind him, and then Cade's 1 win behind. So we're all on like 16, 15 wins, and then it's and then the rest of the pack's like on like 11 or something. So I've just got to like So for obviously in IGL top 2's automatic promotion. So yeah, it's like going to be so tight to stay in that top 2 basically, because like Cade's got some his defense, his forwards are absolutely insane. Shall I tell you what these are?
Yeah, definitely.
Where is it? Oh yeah, here you go. So he's got Haaland, Diaz, Isaac, and Mbuemo.
What?
Yeah.
Like Diaz is easily his worst player.
Yeah, pretty much. It's insane, isn't
mental.
it? Yeah.
You got like 3 forwards, all on penalties, all for top scoring teams. Like, how do you manage that? Trades. He traded his way.
He drafted Haaland, Diaz, and Mbuemo, and then like got a bit of a ridiculous offer sent to him for Isaac, and he just had to take it, even though he didn't need him. So yeah, I think it was like Rodgers and Mavididi or something dumb. So.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, this was when Isaac had struggled at the start of the season and blah 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 blah. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, so he's got a really good team. So it's like, and so does Gavin. So I've just been like I'm masquerading at the top there, trying to sort of keep pace, do what I can. But yeah, it was good fun. How did you go, mate?
Yeah, not bad. So you didn't have any regrets? You don't have any roster concerns, any of that?
Sorry, we'll go through that. Oh man. So yeah, I'm not a professional here, am I at all? But yeah, so starting Murillo, I basically started him because I had a cup match and they had sales and goals, so it was sort of like a matching sort of thing. I was like, whatever. But yeah, against Bournemouth, that probably wasn't really the best idea. But he's been playing so well. Like I benched him a few weeks when I shouldn't, so it's sort of one of those. Yeah. I mean, Odegaard being out was a nonsense. Again, it's just like so I streamed Gruder, which was crap. And then Spence out as well. So yeah, that wasn't great. In DPL,
you've been having some really weird luck with some popular midfield options this season, man. Odegaard in one league, Madison in another. Like,
So yeah, my other league, that's So I thought I'd done some great business. Like Saka's injured. You know what? I'll see if what's the most that I think I could possibly get. Maybe Madison. He's been struggling. Maybe the manager's frustrated. Gets accepted. The whole like league chats up in arms and all that. And then since I've done that, he's started one game, got like 3 points in it. The rest of them he hasn't started. Yeah, I mean it's just like a bloody.
Where's the league chatter now?
Well, yeah, I went back a couple of weeks ago and just said, "Can I have Saka back, please?" So, oh man, yeah. I mean, what do you do, like, but yeah. So yeah, that was a bit annoying. That and in DPL, that just meant I had like Calafiori benched, Jimenez was crap, and like I went, I streamed like Lamptey and like Will Hughes, like that was the level of dregs I'd gone to.
Good lord.
Yeah. So anyway.
So what are your roster concerns then across the both leagues right now?
Yeah, so in IGL, my forward line is like really threadbare. It's been that all season because of the way I drafted and haven't
Yeah.
really traded anyone in. But I basically just got Wisa and it's and then I had DCL, thought that was great, and then obviously he got injured for just before the double, so need to replace that. Yeah, Odegaard's just being generally shite. But someone dropped Bowen in that league, and I picked him up for about 30
Yeah,
odd
that
fab.
is mental.
Yeah,
Absolutely mental.
I know. But like, only 2 of us bid for him. It was crazy. So
I'm glad that you got him though, but like Bowen's been your boy like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
seasons now, right? So
I'm very excited to have him back. To be fair, I got a really good midfield in that league. So yeah, hopefully he can like add to that. But yeah,
Yeah.
he might even be back this game week. So we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. Well, why don't you try and trade out Odegaard in this league to get a better forward then? Why not?
I mean, it's just trading on such a low. Like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. It's not a
Yeah,
bad shout.
but I mean, like you said, if your midfield is good, then you can kind of afford it, right? Because like I've seen like a lot of people even on our Discord and stuff like complaining about Odegaard and Madison and like just whining about them all the time, and it just gets to the point where like if you don't like the asset, just get rid of them. Like, why are you putting yourself through the pain game week after game week?
Yeah, but it depends what you can get. Like, obviously, you don't want to hang on to draft day value because he was,
Yeah,
you know, going sort of late first round sort of thing. I think I
Yeah,
got him
yeah.
like at the end of the start of second round. So yeah, you don't want to do that necessarily. But like, I held through the injury, and then like I guess I've sort of just almost been waiting for him to have like 2 consecutive good games rather than just be like one good game. Oh, here you go. Because I think
yeah,
most people in these sort of community leagues are a bit more wise to that sort of stuff. But
yeah.
but it just hasn't happened. So I've just almost like been like, just roll with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
What about DPL? What's your
Yes.
concerns there?
So obviously it looks like Madison's likely out 2 or 3 weeks now with that calf injury that put him out of the game. So
Was this the soreness that was reported or whatever?
yeah. So I mean, like obviously that that midweek game in the Europa League, they really sort of went after that to get the win, right?
Yeah.
And they've
Yeah.
just like basically mugged it, fatigued the crap out of all of their players just to get through that. I mean, to be fair, they're not going to do anything in the league, right? I mean, as long as
Yeah.
they don't get relegated, which at this rate,
Never say never.
never say never. but yeah, so I've got 2 Spurs players. Madison's
Yeah.
out injured. Like Brennan Johnson's out injured. Purvis,
Yeah.
like I don't know what's his story really, and I've sort of like kept Grealish for ages just because I've had Bernardo Silva, and I've not really had too many problems. So like, but I think I'm reaching the point where I might need to just drop him. So yeah, and I don't. But the thing, like Sod's Law is going to be one of those where you pick him up, so you drop him, and then he just like starts the next game. So, but I imagine it's one of those where he's just going to start in Europe and random bits like that, and not really get much of a look in otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to that point of the season where you just need to make some really brutal calls as well, right? I think Grealish is got to be one of them. Like, I don't. How many games has he started this season? Like what, 8? If that many?
Yeah, it's probably like something like 4, maybe.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. It's gonna be a tiny number.
Yeah, I reckon you're probably closer to it than I am. I felt a bit
six.
generous.
6
6.
starts.
Oh, smack in the middle. Look at
That's
that.
quite a lot, isn't it?
See, no, that's terrible. Like the fact
Yeah.
that we're saying that's a lot, and you
That's-
still got him in a redraft league.
that's
Like
27% starts. So
chuck him,
go on, lad.
Robbie.
Yeah,
Chuck him.
that was actually a
Do
trade.
the
I
whole
did.
like the Simba chuck. Just throw him off the fucking cliff. Like
Yeah. That was actually yeah. But that was actually a trade I did with Naru on that. I traded Somerville to him for Grealish, like early on, and I think
Yeah.
he actually like the one game he put up lots of points was against Naru, but I mean,
Of course.
in the end that was trash for trash. So yeah,
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
so all good fun.
How did waivers go for IGL? They would have cleared for you today, right?
Yeah. So I got in. I mean, I've got no fab left after that Bowen getting Bowen. So, but
Yeah.
I did. Mavadidi was dropped. I got Oano, so I picked him up. Onuachu, and like on the proper dregs of the end of my waiver list, it was Decore. So I
He's got to be like the biggest double gaming trap, I think.
Oh
this
yeah. I
weekend.
mean, it was just those throwaway crap ones you just put right at the end. It was like,
Yeah.
oh right, that came through then. Yeah. So yeah, I need to think about what I do with that. I mean, my mid's quite strong, so probably not. Yeah, just see what I can do.
I mean, you could do the Ryan Barnes special, sell him for like a fab or two. He's got double gaming.
No one's
fiction.
gonna pay any money for a guy scoring like 1 or 2 points a game. Right?
You never know.
Well, yeah.
Just $1. Come on.
Yeah, well,
bro.
I'm playing Prash this week, so and I've got
Yeah.
like quite a few Everton and Liverpool players. I think I've got like 4 or 5 or something. So I've just I chucked
Jesus.
them all in the lineup just to see, like, just to like, make him
Scare him.
make him swear.
Yeah. DPL has yet to clear, but are you eyeing up anyone at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, Jimenez doesn't have a great game week, so and with Johnson injured, I've got another forward slot then. So I was thinking if I could get Beto in, that could be good. Marmouche hasn't actually processed yet because he got added too late. So I've only got 16 fab. Probably won't get him, but I'll put a bid in.
Would you like if like managers listening to this, how would you advise them to kind of go about like getting a player like Marmouche? Is it just drop everything in your bank, a certain percentage of your remaining fab?
I think you just got,
because we've seen like varying amounts being spent on him, right? So
yeah, it's gone from like 6 all the way up to like over 100.
105.
Yeah. I mean, Bash is a different story because like fab is
Yeah.
almost meaningless there, but as we've discussed before. But yeah, I think you just got to assess what all the other people have in your league, and then I think a tactic that Gavin has used against me twice now is to almost like, okay, look at the person who has like in terms of like where are you on the fab hierarchy and like who's left, right? And then basically go, okay, who's the one below me? And then I'm going to go 1 fab above what he's got left.
Okay,
right?
fair.
Because if someone above you is going to bid, they'll just bid 1 above you. You're not going to get it anyway. So you sort of like be a little bit smart and cute with it, I guess. It's just it's a reason. I've used that tactic before in like especially in my home league and bits like that. But yeah, like in some of the community leagues, you have no idea sometimes what people are going to bid. Like it's like they either go crazy or they don't bid anything, and you're like, what? You're scratching your head. So, like with the Bowen one, it was like Gavin only bids like 6 or 7 fab or something, and I bid 36. It was just like it's like all my fab. But
it could be worse. You could have spent $70 on JWP. So
that is very true. But
so I see you made it through the Rigged Cup. Congrats. I'm not going to see you on the other side.
Oh, mate, I was looking forward to meeting you. And is it round of 32 that bit? Or something?
Yeah, I think so. I lost by like under 10 points. I think it was like, had I gone, I think Jordan IU or BDCR instead of KLP, I would have probably gotten over the line, but I couldn't be asked about like the cup stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like it's such a, I don't know. How do you say?
It's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with multi-division cups. You just like you have no control over what that other person does. You know, they could be in a really like I wouldn't say weak league, but they could have just absolutely smashed it and. Yeah. So and like or just be randomly lucky that week and etc. etc. Like to win one of those things, you've got to be good but also exceptionally lucky. So it's but yeah, I mean obviously Jacob won it that 1 year a few years ago, and he had just an insane team, didn't he? So good, but also need a bit of slice of luck. Because the guy I was against, like he was actually in my group as well, and he like won that quite comfortably, but he put up 50 points against me. So what are you going to do?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
All right. So now we'll move on to my updates. So we'll start with IGL. So I got another win there, 94-79. I got my 12-point lead back at the top of the table. I think Joe ended up losing his matchup. Sorry, Joe, but thank you. Like I said, I lost the cup tie, so not going to talk about that. In terms of the standout performers for me, Tarkowski, Nico Jackson, Mo Salah as always, and then Jacob Ramsey was my stream of this week. So happy about that one. That one hit so good. 17.5 with the goal. Yeah, really like that. Because my logic going into it was like, I've just noticed West Ham enable shit assets. I was like, you know what? Let me just pick an asset I'd never pick ever again. And I might keep Jacob for this game week just because like my mids are like all injured basically. Like I've got Bowen as well in this league. I've got McNeil in this league as well. And they're playing Wolves. Like it could be waste sort of thing, right?
You're holding McNeil then?
I'm waiting on until Moyes tells me he's going for surgery. Yeah, I'm not dropping him. Like if there's a chance he can come back in time for playoffs, like
oh yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point, right? But what if somebody wants to buy him? I don't know. I just want to sell and keep money in my fab bank for shits and giggles. Like
okay. If you don't finish the season with loads of fab left, what are you doing?
What are you doing, right? Then that JWP purchase doesn't look that bad anymore. In terms of regrets, like I mentioned, the only regret was really KLP versus going Leicester forwards, and it would have purely just been for the cup run. The other regret was, I don't know if it's rostering Robert Sanchez or the fact that he's my actual club goalkeeper as well. Did you see his little moment for the Haaland goal, by the way?
No, I've not seen it yet, but I've heard about it.
Oh my god, it is. It's like you notice like when his brain just stops working at one point, and he's just like acting purely out of, I don't even want to call it instinct, because who fucking has instinct like that?
I mean, Chelsea have made quite a lot of wasteful signings over the Clear Lake sort of period, but how much do you spend on him? It was like 20 odd mil or something, wasn't it? Dumb.
Whatever it was too much.
I don't understand how you can watch him play week on week and say, yes, he's our goalkeeper, and like how much money have you spent on goalkeepers? There's like Jorgensen, Petrovic, there's all these. And like even Kepa's on loan, right? I'll take Kepa any day out. It's just like just have someone who's like just not like completely shit, like, or it just doesn't make so many mistakes. It's like it just feels like a bit not incompetence, but like just. I'll come out with a word for it, but it's just like why?
It's like he's made his bed and he's just gonna lie in it. Like, but what I don't get is like he's kind of done the same thing with Chalobah at Crystal Palace, but he recalled Chalobah. So like, why not do the same thing with Kepa? Just accept that you've made a mistake and move on.
I mean, Petrovic might be easier because he's on loan at your feeder club, right? So I don't know, but anyway, it's just just seems like just pure incompetence to. Keep, or bloody mindedness to keep going with it. But anyway,
agreed. In terms of roster concerns for IGL, so I've just had my fourth injury now. I've lost Strand Larson to a hamstring injury, so obviously I ended up dropping him because like I'm carrying the likes of Pinnock, who's supposed to be back I think this weekend. Bowen we're hearing could be back this weekend potentially on the bench. McNeil was still waiting on, so yeah, I had like basically two spots in my roster to kind of make moves for. So in terms of my waiver moves, I dropped KLP and I dropped Strand Larson and I grabbed Onuachu and James Garner actually, because I saw that Oral Mangala came off injured towards the end of the last game, and the concern sounded fairly significant. Garner came on as a sub as well, got a point, I don't know for what, but I'm assuming he gets maybe like 110 minutes, let's say, across the two games, and I'm happy to kind of roll him out as like my mid 4, mid 5 in that league. So
yeah. I mean, I remember drafting him like as a 16th round, like sort of steady Eddie or something maybe, and he obviously was injured. But so I mean, like if he can get back to where he was, like it could be a nice option. And I don't know if he'll necessarily play both games, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know for the double, but yeah. Like,
You never
why
know.
not? Worth a punt, but yeah. I mean, I sort of. Did you say how long's Strand out for? Is he?
I saw Broken Red Flag. I was like, I'm not fucking with this. Like,
Yeah, he's just not really been quite good enough, has he? Like, especially lately.
and that's the thing. He's like streamer level, like at the
Yeah,
moment, right?
I mean, his points are like less than 8 points per start, and like just looking at. Oh yeah, so his form is 4.8. I guess that carries this one game where he's got injured, but still.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it's just not quite there, really, is it?
Yeah.
Cunha's the only one you want.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In terms of DPL, I had a win there as well, 109 to 92. The goods were Munoz, Mikolenko, Damsgaard, Eze, McAllister. Regret, I went double Chelsea defense. So I had Robert Sanchez there as well. But the other regret, I guess, was Chalobah. So I talked about this, I think, a couple of pods ago, when Chalobah had that absolute beautiful homecoming game against Wolves. I thought that he dominated the ghost points mainly because Levi Colwell wasn't there. And you know how we've got this whole cat and dog analogy and which one's the alpha defender, all that. So now that we saw both him and Levi play together, I wonder if there was that drop-off because Levi typically tends to be the more dominant centre-back in most of the pairings that we've seen at Chelsea this season. So I'm kind of tempted to like maybe drop him. I'm not sure. So I don't know. How do you see that one potentially playing out?
Yeah, I mean, I guess last game week was the time to try and trade him out. Be like, look, he's still going to be a good asset. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're playing City, right? It's maybe not the most, how do you say, representative game of like how your assets will like perform all season. So I'd probably still give him a bit of a chance, but yeah, especially if he gets one more good game, then it's definitely right for trade out territory.
Yeah, fair enough. In terms of roster concerns, so I've had a problem with this roster for like the longest while now, and it's mainly I need a fucking forward.
Yeah. Mate,
and I think
I feel you.
I think one of the best ways to get a value forward is to trade possibly midfield for forward rather defender for forward, right? Like, these are the list of midfielders that I've got in this league. Damsgaard, Eze, Enzo Fernandez, Iwobi, McAllister, Garnacho, Bailey, and Jensen.
Okay, well, a few of those, couple you can drop at least, but yeah. But yes, that's a very good midfield.
But the thing is like I've been wanting to get maybe a forward out of Garnacho because right now my only forwards here are an injured Brennan Johnson and Iliman Ndiaye. So basically I've got one fit forward for this double game week, which isn't bad. Everton double game week forward who's on penalties or whatever like that. But like which midfielder would you suggest I trade out and what sort of forward do you think I can get really?
So this is IGL, is it?
DPL.
DPL, sorry. Let me have a look because I couldn't keep all of that in my head.
Yeah.
What league are you in? C.
In the CC, yeah. The league with Gav, Genie, Joe.
You. So Dams, Eze, Enzo, Iwobi, McAllister. We just roll that out. But yeah, Ndiaye is your only forward, Christ.
Yeah. And there's literally no forwards in the pool. It's
I
fucking horrible.
For you, like, I mean, why are you even holding the likes of Jensen and Bailey when you've got those five? You might only swap one of them out per week. Yeah. I mean, I think you just need, like, I've somehow managed to just keep going with picking up the odd forward off the waiver wire this year. In IGL where I've had that issue, and like, Visa got dropped. I like made sure that I went for him like early and things like that. So just trying to do that. But yeah, I think you could maybe. I mean, if you want a good forward, you might just have to trade out Iwobi or Eze, I guess, or Damsgaard. But I'm not sure on Enzo's value particularly. I think people are still a little bit wary after those couple of sort of like less than good scores. Yeah, that's a difficult one. Garnacho's the one. oh god, I don't know what I'd do with him. I sort of
Yeah.
trade him out for DCL, right?
Yeah, I tried. Would have gotten a great deal out of me if they did it, but
Well, is it even a good deal? I don't know.
yeah. So okay, let's say I was to trade out Iwobi. What sort of forward are you wanting back though for him?
Oh, okay. Well, let's check my ranks. So at the moment,
Plug for the ranks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, updated every week. Labor of love/hate. Who have I got around him? Well, I've moved Gakpo up to Iwobi's level now.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously that's riskier in terms of expected starts, but he's definitely lights out at the moment. Watkins, Semenyo. Yeah, I mean even Son's not that far ahead.
Oh god, I'm definitely not going there.
No, it was just historic performances, isn't it? I mean, even last game week and they were crap, and he still got 9 points. So. But it's Leicester. But yeah, those are the forwards around. Like if you go any higher, you're looking at Cunha and all that. So I mean, Nico Jackson, like I've got him around where Damsgaard is.
I could try doing Nico for Damsgaard. That's not too bad, to be honest.
You could maybe buy low on Luis Diaz as a punt. I don't know. It depends on how desperate you are. Like, do you know what I mean? Because he's had such bad form. That you sort of think hopefully this doesn't continue. But
I wonder. Do you think somebody would take Garnacho for Luis Diaz? No, right?
Oh god, no. No.
I like how you quickly always shoot down my audacious ideas. It's like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, you do like to throw them out like that every now and then, don't you?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Come on, man. You gotta try them, Gotta try them.
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes to be genie for a day, don't they?
Yeah. But yeah, okay, that's a good idea. I'll have a look at your ranks and see maybe I'll throw some feelers out there hopefully before the double game week and maybe I mean also we got to see how waivers go. I think I always also like to see how waivers process and then see what my options are before I do any sort of trades and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, I think now what we'll do is take our halftime pint and we will be back after the break with some questions. So we'll see in a bit. And we are back. Are you having any bevies tonight while we record, or is it a quiet one?
Oh no, mate. Yeah, I the girls went to bed about just before 9, so it was not a good bedtime. So yeah. No.
What was it? Because you had to read them some stories, or like, is there a routine typically?
Oh yeah. Like there's a classic routine, but I had to take Lottie over to my mum and dad's. They're looking after her today, and she fell asleep. She's like in that weird transition point between needing a nap and not, but like towards the end, really, she doesn't really need it. So if she does have a nap, she just won't go to sleep. Like, and she had a nap at about it was like literally just before 5 in the evening.
Oh,
and you're
God.
like, I was like, for fuck's sake. It's like, what are you guys doing? Just like keep her entertained for fuck's sake. But anyway,
Yeah.
So that took a while, but it's all good.
Oh, the joys of fatherhood, Robbie.
Yeah. So I just literally I've got a glass of water there, and that's it. Sorry to be boring.
Responsible night.
It'd be nice to have a Gamma Ray beside me, but yeah, it's a school night.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into some questions. So I'll take the first one. It's from someone88. When someone who doesn't watch football asks you to explain the offside rule, how do you respond? Ketchup, pepper, and salt shakers? ChatGPT? Ask your dad?
Oh dear, how would I do that? Sorry, I'm not prepared at all for any of these.
It's good. We never are.
Yeah. I mean, am I like really genuinely trying to make them understand it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose pepper and salt shaker sounds like quite a good one, because at least you've got like 2 different like colours for the 2 different teams.
Yeah. And maybe use some cutlery to draw some lines here and there. You know?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could just get PowerPoint out or something, and
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Me being on a date, pull out my laptop and start talking to the chick
Ooh.
about, hey, this is how the offside rule works. Yeah.
Yeah, I think entering into that part of the conversation is like just a no-no, really, on a date, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Not that
maybe.
I'd know. I mean, maybe it's the opposite of that. Maybe it's what makes it. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know,
Yeah.
right? So,
You have to find out.
all right. Do you want to take our next question?
Yeah, sure. So, this is from a Sweetness McBossman. Great name.
Love that name.
It says, if your Fantrax team had a walkout song this year, what song would it be and why? God, I really haven't prepped for this. Christ. Okay.
I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure we've had these song questions before, and I always like just never know what my song is gonna be. Like, and plus, I feel like I've been so out of tune with like music in terms of like the exact artist that has sang the song. Like, I'll hear a tune and I'll be like, oh yeah, I know this tune, great vibes. But then if somebody asks me like in a pub quiz or whatever, like, can you name the exact artist or the band? I'm like, I don't fucking know, mate. Like, I don't keep any of this information in my head anymore.
I guess it's what league am I talking about? You know, because one of them is depressing, the other ones are good. Yeah.
Oh, the depressing one would be like, hello, darkness, my old friend.
It always reminds me of old school. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
What would the hype one be? I guess, have you had any like hype songs recently? Like maybe this week that you've heard that?
I do post stuff in Banter Beats every now and then. So
hey, nice plug for the Discord.
Yeah, what would be like an upbeat one for that? I don't know, maybe like Kashmir Percolator, Jamie Jones remix. I don't know if you like.
You go.
It's time for the percolator.
Hey,
something upbeat. I don't know. I quite like what was the ring walk that Kel Brook had? Turn on the lights and baby, that one. But it had it was a bit of a little remix thing, but yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's quite an upbeat one.
Nice. So there's another question from Sweetness McBossman. His question is, Morgan Rogers seems to get me either 20 points or 0 most weeks. He's either great or awful. How do you handle players like this? Is there something that you look for to decide whether to start or bench him? So he basically sent a screenshot of like the scores. So since December 1st, it's been 1.5, 20.25, 9.25, 3, 27.75, then 3.5, then 24, 13, 0, and then 0.75 was the most recent performance versus West Ham. Yeah, what do you do with stuff like this, Robbie?
I remember like a few years ago there was quite a debate about Mason Mount and him being a flat track bully. And I remember at the time going, oh, that's probably quite a good thing because at least it's, how do you say, predictable, right?
Yeah.
Problem with Rodgers here is it doesn't look predictable, does it? So you've got, big scores against Man City, against Brighton, nothing against Arsenal, nothing against West Ham. So and that's the problem with him. I guess you can take it game week by game week, but unless I just don't think you can be smart about it, if you know what I mean, and try and bench him in some or others. So yeah, I think you just got to roll him out and accept that it's going to be, what is he, just below 10 points per start? I think he's like 9.6 or something.
So it's one of those like take the rough with the smooth sort of
9.2 points per start, which really isn't that good. And that's like, he's overperforming his expected points by like 1.2. So yeah, I mean, I'm not excited about him at all. And what I'd say is I think you've just got to roll him out every week unless you have better options. But you're with the midfield pool, you're probably unlikely to. So I think you just got to roll him out. Unfortunately, he's a bit of a funny asset. So I guess maybe there could be a decision to make sort of if Villa's game was like later in the game week and you knew more about your situation in your matchup. So, you then think of him as a low floor, high ceiling guy rather than anything else. So you can then make that decision then if that's suitable or not for your situation. But aside from that, yeah, I think you just got to roll them out.
Do you think he has trade value?
He's certainly got trade value, but I've got him about, I don't know, was he nearly late 60s in the ranks? So I don't think you'll be able to get much for him, but
what sort of players are we maybe looking at?
It's interesting
if we wanted to get rid of the pain.
It's interesting to say that because I reviewed Genie's trade advice article today, and he was recommended trading in Ryan Christie, and one of the ones he recommended trading out for him was Rodgers, who actually scores better overall, but is a lot less consistent than Christie. So I was like, I probably wouldn't do it, but there's an argument for it, certainly. But that's, the type of players you're looking at. There's not really like a lot there. What else is there? Like Bernardo Silva, he's been a bit rubbish lately. Ismail Assar, maybe. I don't know. Like, I think, it's a difficult area. Would you Wan-Bissaka's on 9.2 points per start?
I'd probably take 1B, to be honest.
Yeah, they're sort of in and around that. Like all that, like that expected value of all the people around that, like within about 20 ranks of each other is so close. It's almost a bit like, much for muchness. So see what you like. If you're really fed up with him, like I know Ryan was obviously, TDS Ryan. So just get rid if you want.
Yeah, true. All right, cool. Do you want to take our next question from Andrew?
Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. After several debates in the Banter Discord. But anyway, so Andrew's message was, what would you say is the bigger mistake, getting a burger at Nando's or hating Nando's?
There's no win-win in this question for me, is there?
I think that was the way it was designed.
I might just ban the word Nando's in my Discord now.
I just don't get your hate. Like I think you think everyone puts it on a pedestal
this as well. I just don't get your love. Like
but like I know what you mean. Like, I'd rather go to an independent restaurant, all these sort of things, and I totally agree and get that. But Nando's is just like for what it is, it's good, and it's just like ease of life. You just go up, you just like order your stuff, and they just bring it over, and that's it, done. Like you get some grilled peri peri chicken, you get some like stuff with it. It's good.
So you're calling it more of a convenience then?
Yeah, it's sort of like on the upper levels of fast food, really, isn't it? Like it's like it's in between, sort of. But
I guess
chicken,
it's the healthier option.
So you can't go wrong, really, can you?
You know what? Don't worry, Robbie. One day when we go to Trinidad, I'll introduce you to proper, good barbecue chicken, and then you'll see the stuff that I grew up on, and you'll understand. Oh my god.
Oh no, for me, like my favorite's jerk chicken. I fucking love jerk chicken.
Yeah.
So,
right. When you grow up on stuff like that, it's like you come to like a foreign country and you're like, why are people enjoying this food? Like, this is just boiled chicken.
It is grilled at the end.
I know. Listen, I'm not perfect. Okay, I've accepted it.
Right. We all have our it's not vices, but you know what
I mean. The burger wasn't that bad, but I think in hindsight, I probably should have just gone regular chicken. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Half chicken, matcha peas, peri salted chips, done.
There you go. All right. So for our last question, I'll take it from Draft Tash. If you were drafting again today, what draft position / number would you want? And then I'll ask his second question.
Ooh. I did quite a lot of like bits of analysis on that, like before the season started, and like looking at, using WAR for expected value to see how, if a draft went perfectly, where could you most take advantage, I guess. And it all just like pointed towards the first like few numbers in the draft. So I think I'd still take somewhere between 1 to 4, you've got those elite assets. You get them, and often what happens is something nice falls to you as well on the way back. So, and I think getting those first 3 to 5 rounds right is the way to go. And obviously, if you do that, then you got that. Say if you pick one, then you've got a bad round 2, good, and good round 3, but then you got the 4 and the 5, and I think that's really where all the value starts to drop off a lot. So so I think I still take a higher position. Like,
I agree with you. I think I had my best draft in the IGL. I was 5th pick, and Salah fell to me at pick 5.
Yeah.
I mean, in hindsight, absolutely chuffed with that, right? And then it's like you said, like, depending on how you kind of draft the rest of it, like I got the likes of Bowen, McNeil, Tarkowski, Jackson, Iwobi round 6, like looking back at it is fucking bonkers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I think I got him round 5 or 6 in IGL, and it just seems nuts, doesn't it? But but these things can happen, can't they? So if you just know, like the one thing I regretted about any of the drafts is just that lifestyle league and just going a bit more like, it was the last draft and I just went for like random players that I hadn't been able to get in other drafts that like I went a bit silly, and that's normally not a good way to draft.
Yeah, I mean, I drafted Gabriel Jesus off of preseason vibes, so I completely get where you're coming from.
Yeah, because I mean, in DPL I went, Saka, and then I traded up to get a slightly higher pick and got Trent, and then got Mbuemo, and you're like, that is 3 just insane picks, isn't it? And that's just sets you up for the rest of the season. So
yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So I agree. First few picks. Anyways, the final part of his question was specifically for you. How have you enjoyed the first year of running the DPL Community League?
That's an interesting question. Tash has been great, actually. He's been one of the commissioners for us in the AA division. It's been an interesting process, because like I've been involved with just helping out and commissioning sort of like single divisions and stuff for Genie League and all that. But obviously when DPL sort of went, like, no one, if we didn't take it on, then it probably wouldn't have been running this year. So it was sort of like someone had to come along and just do it all basically, which sort of fell on me. But I think the worst part was just getting everyone like signed up and into the Discord and into fan tracks, and then just like people would like put their applications in, and then just wouldn't be contactable for over a week. And I mean, maybe they're on holiday or something, you don't know, but it's still just like completely not helpful for you, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. So and then and then we've reduced it down to 6 from 12, from 12 divisions. So like some people who were in the year before who we didn't manage to fit in weren't happy, and all these things. And so, and like, because I was running it, always sort of felt like it was on me to sort of like message all those people I'm letting down, and then it's just like, so that wasn't a fun part of it. But generally I found once we've got it going, we've set it up, especially having the Discord, it's made it a lot easier to sort of have a just sort of have a feel and just to run it. And we've got like a commissioner in each of the divisions, which IGL, because it's so big, can't. So at least we've only got 6 here, and that's nice, and it's a bit more manageable. And all the commissioners that have joined us have just been like really good and helpful. And and like honestly, we haven't really like had much to deal with aside from that one in our lifestyle league, which,
the mega trade or whatever.
For God's sake. How can you try and sell Chris Wood for Haaland? But anyway, try and dress it up with 4 bullshit streamers. But anyway, enough said about that. Better. But no, generally, like now I've been through the process, it's sort of like hopefully got all the wrinkles out, and I'm hoping like next year it'll be a bit easier on that regard. And actually, like, what I've just enjoyed the most about it is just the fact that like the leagues are just all really competitive. So yeah, there's no like, I mean, there's the odd person who hasn't, got, say, is like dragging low, hasn't got many wins, but most people are like still like just 3 or 4 wins in touch a second or something, and things like that, from all the way down to like 10th and sometimes 11th, and that's what you want in these leagues. You want it to be competitive, and everyone's keeps playing right through to the end, and out of love and pride for the game, and just to not mug all your league mates off. So and just be the person who just gets the whipping boy every week, just because they're not paying attention. So yeah, for that, in that regard, it's been a really a good success. So,
yeah, man, you've done a fantastic job, mate. Honestly, I still struggle to see how you find the time to do your content as well, while being a dad and your full-time job and all that, and then taking on commish privileges or responsibilities is.
Honestly, the way we've set it up, it's almost run itself since the start of the season, which has been nice. Like, that was the plan, so that's been really nice, and I think a lot of these leagues have needed that. Like, you don't want to take up too much of people's time, otherwise people won't want to come back and do it. It's just like a bit of a nightmare. So so that's been good. But yeah, the upfront stuff at the start of the season was just manic, and my job definitely took a hit. But no, I'm just looking forward to because after game week 27, we'll have the Super League starting, so the top 2 in each of the 6 divisions will start. We'll go into a new league basically, which will be like a redraft league. So that is going to be quite interesting. I should be in that, so that will be good fun.
Oh, is this is outside the lifestyle? Because I was about to tell you we won't have to worry about that.
Oh yeah, no, that doesn't have that. Yeah, no, this is in full on DPL, the community league. So yeah, so there's 6 divisions, top 2 in each go into a 12 team, which basically redraft, and everyone plays each other once in the last 11 games of the season. So whoever comes top gets another, was it $240 or something? I'll have to check it out.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So
very nice, man.
Same as
Good
if
stuff.
you won your own division, if you will. So
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
cool.
Good.
But yeah, those are the questions, and that is the pod. Another one in the books. Robbie, do you have any final words before we sign off, bro?
Attack the doubles if you can. If you can't, don't get shit players that are double.
Yeah, that's solid advice. I was just gonna tell people have some fun.
All that.
But maybe take Robbie's advice first, and then have your fun.
Yeah.
Winning is also fun. So
it is.
That's it. Come join the Discord. It's free. If you don't know how to, DM me. I'll send you links, all that jazz. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next episode, listeners. Peace.